But yeah, I just watched Bruno's video and about talking about how building props and making stuff for scenes can make it look better. And yes, I agree, it looks absolutely amazing from what he's done. I love the fact that he's built these like sets for your, for the sets. You've built these sets for your videos, and it looks amazing. And as soon as your video finished, I started looking for hobby stores and train stores in the UK and trying to find little buildings, and I got small ideas which I think would be quite cool to make. But mainly your thing at the end about bad guys and storylines and stuff like that with Super Mega Force compared to the previous Power Rangers. I think that at the time, I don't know if it was the writing team, but I feel like pretty much from RPM to Mega Force now, the bad guys, they all have that generic talk, where, how I mean is, where they don't really talk normally. It just seems like it's a generic, I'll tell you my plan, you're gonna beat me because it takes this amount of time, you get new powers. When I was watching the latest latest Mega Force with the Wild Sword, I kind of like the bad guy more. I like the way that he tricked the Rangers, and they kind of reminded me more about how the series used to be, how it used to all be kind of like, not trickery or anything like that, but literally like fool the Rangers, and then the Rangers learn, and then they get more powerful and they beat up the bad guy and so on and so on. But from when I've noticed this through the writing team, through all of I keep saying Super Mega Force, all the way through like Mega Force, Super Samurai and Samurai, it just feels dull, like there's nothing there, there's no life to it, where it's just the generic, I don't know if it's through the Rangers or if it's through the bad guys, but it just seems to be the same. And I don't know why Saban isn't moving up, because you have other programs like, say, Ben 10. These are more interesting. Like the bad guys, you feel for them at some point and you want to be them, or you want them to win at times, but you know that the good guy is going to win. So I don't know why Saban's not turned around and upped his game a bit. He did kind of in Super Samurai, where the characters became more interesting. But when I look at Mega Force now, I don't see a lot of talent in them. They are good actors to some degree, but where you have a more serious role, like with the Red Ranger never smiling that much, it just feels like the lines are dull, or they are interested to some degree, or they're not. And I think that with this sort of element now, they need to kind of step up the game and go back to what they're writing. When people started dissing the Disney era and saying that they hated it because it was this or that, I loved it. I thought it was interesting. The plot lines, the characters, the bad guys, everything was more like kind of in your face, and I wanted to watch the whole series. But recently it just seems like they're going either back to old themes, or they're going back to something that they don't want to do, or they can't be bothered. And you'd think that it's something that they're doing with their lives and they want to do this. Now, if it was me, I would love to work on the show, either as a writer, as an editor, as a choreographer. And when I was watching one of the episodes a while ago, I noticed that it looks like they just don't care. There's editing mistakes everywhere. A few of the major ones is that they don't really want to do all their morphs the same, because when you look at some of the Rangers, if you pause it halfway through, you can see that it's suit actors when they're doing the flip thing. When there was a scene in I can't remember the episode name, but literally these people were trapped in this big cube thing, and the Blue Ranger ran off, and then they destroyed the monster. It was literally like, they were like, "You go save it, blah de blah," and then they ran off, and the Blue Ranger destroyed the area, and it's like, yes, you've set the people free. Then it was cut to a commercial break, and then as soon as it was back, they were all standing in the area, and this was a big mistake, because you think that they would actually check all the footage before they went out. And the second one that I saw, I just glanced at it and saw it. So the Rangers were in their training gear, where they were kind of just training in the sports gear, and then when they ran off to the next point, they were in their main clothes, the leathers and the stuff that they always wear. And I was thinking, okay, kids aren't going to notice this, but when you've grown up with a show like this for the years and you see these small mistakes, and it just ruins the magic. Like when Disney hired the Power Rangers, or the suit actors, they had to get everything right. And if a kid was growing up saying, I want to be an editor, I want to work on Power Rangers, and they saw this, you know, they look back and go, wow, that's what happened. And I don't know why they just seem to be a little bit lazy. Again, with the bad guys is, I mean, I never really had a connection with any of the bad guys. I liked Eclipse's passion for Corone, and when like she was hurt, he would just go absolutely crazy, and like it wouldn't stop him. I mean, even with Goldar, when with his hatred towards the Green Ranger, you know, you could see that there was still passion between them. And the fact is that they wanted to fight each other when they came across each other, or Goldar wanted to destroy him and prove himself to Lord Zed and Rita and stuff like that. But now when it comes to the show, it just, there's no make me want to watch it type move. It just seems to be either if they're not trying to sell the toys, or they're just really can't be bothered. And this is what annoys me, because with me working in media, I want to turn around, I want to sit there and I want to spend hours editing that footage, color correcting it, doing everything I can to make it look better and to give the show what it used to be. But unfortunately now it just seems that it's, oh, we'll just get it out on time. I don't know if they're on a tight time budget or anything like that. That's what I kind of think they are, but it just seems like they just can't be bothered. And even though the show is aimed for kids and kids don't really care, it's something that they shouldn't just be thinking, let's just roll out any old stuff that the kids will just go, yeah, we'll just watch it. I don't know what kid would say that, but yeah, it just kind of makes me sad, and I kind of really wish that I could work on the show, help out, just do something, you know. If I had to work in New Zealand, I know that it's far from Australia, but I know that that would be my biggest fear. I would overcome that just to work on the show, just to make sure that everything was fine. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. Leave a comment down below on how you think that the show has changed all the way. Do you think the bad guys have become boring and not interesting like they were back in the day, or do you think that they've become more interesting? I'd like to know what you think. If you liked the video, like, favourite and subscribe, and I'll speak to you later.